Girl, you was allegedly selling cootie cat on the internet, and he wanted some
Curious. I'm Kendrin.
What up? And it's your girl Deja. How y'all doing?
Hello. If you've never been here before, welcome. We do a cross-section of pop culture in real life. Today, we're back. We're coming to you with a lawsuit roundup because apparently people are always in some mess.
It's
always in some. We're gonna start with the one that made me the most sick. All right, the dream.
We're gonna put the other one right behind him. I should insert my clip.
When I heard about this allegation of the dream with the essay, I was just sick. I was sick because I'm gonna be honest. All right. Some of the other people I have not been a fan of. So I was kind of like, I mean, whatever, we can cancel them. It can be fine. But the dream.
What is going on? What is wrong with you? But it goes
all
to show
about early.
That industry is very sick and nasty and some dirty work.
This was all about early having fun out in the streets years.
Period.
Just up in flames. In flames, I tell you. In flames.
I'm like,
what is I'm gonna do if we can't have the dream? What is something?
What to say? Unfortunately for me, I'm not so broke up about the dream. At least not yet. I have to go through the Rolodex of music to remember. Okay, are there things? Because I don't even listen to nothing of his now anyway. I can't. Basically, the dream is currently being accused of rape and sexual battery from a former protege. And this article we will link, but the rundown is looking like it's crazy. Like, again, it's like these incels of like dirty niggas in these groups. Like, because what is going on?
Plausible. Oh God. I just hate this because of the time in my life that this music was permeating. It's like the soundtrack to an entire era of my life.
Yeah.
So,
yikes. Speaking of other men in this industry, we're just gonna do him and get him out the way. Kanye's also being sued by former chief of staff.
That story was crazy.
This story is crazy. I feel like I should just insert my.
I'm on my way to the part-time per usual, and I'm listening to Rational and Respectable. Shout out to Demetria Lucas. It's her podcast. It's her most recent episode where she's talking about the lawsuits between all the niggas, right? So the latest one to come down the pike is a former assistant of Kanye West is currently suing him for like unpaid wages and like I think sexual harassment and some other stuff. Okay, so. Herein lies why I'm up here talking to y'all this morning, okay? Mama was on OnlyFans allegedly selling the cootie cat. I say allegedly because I don't know what she was selling, but she was making $1 million a year. So I'm gonna assume that she was selling cootie cat, okay? So because of this, Kanye found her through that means, I assume, right? And he told her, this is all alleged. Let me say this first because y'all not finna sue me. This ain't my damn story. This is coming from Ratchet and Respectable and the article that she was reading, okay? She says that he told her that he would pay her salary, which is that $1 million a year. And but there was some caveats. She would have to quit OnlyFans and delete her account. Mind you, Mama was making her own bag, okay? She says, all right, cool, bet, I'll do it. Like, girl, what? And so she decides, all right, bet, I'm gonna do this. And she goes and becomes like chief of staff and all this other stuff. And she's making upwards of like $4 million a year or something like that to do this. But her from the sounds of the story, right? It sounds to me like Mama was stuck on stupid, because why did you think that he was just gonna pay you to do like straight lace, regular ass work? Girl, you was allegedly selling cootie cat on the internet, and he wanted some friggity diggity shit, which is why he hired your ass. And I ain't shaming no sex work. Girl, get your bag. I am not mad at the girls on OnlyFans selling cootie cat or whatever the hell else they selling, okay? Do you? I have thought about selling toes, okay? Girl, stuck on stupid because you walked away from your own bag to go work with someone who has been known to be a little mentally unstable. And now you suing him for harassment and whatever else, all manner of other things that was attached to this situation that you put yourself in.
So what I'll say, so in the process of you doing making said decision and going through with this, I don't understand how in this whole setup you never thought that he was going to proposition you in the ways in which he did, because, and I'm saying this because of where he found you. Doesn't mean that I'm not saying that he is right or that you
Or
are
that you
right or
deserved
wrong.
it.
I'm not saying that she deserved the shit either. What I'm saying is, girl, you don't seem all that bright, because again, you was making your own bag. The piece that I have not made mention to is that she decided to, he said that if you come work for me, you have to quit OnlyFans and delete your whole account. No, I would not have done that. Quit it. All right, cool. You want me to take a break? Fine, whatever. All these social media apps, you can go in and temporarily deactivate it, so it'll look like you don't have nothing no more. That. What I'm not going to do is put myself in a position to not be able to make my money and basically delete.
And to rely on somebody who's completely unhinged to be the person who pays me.
Yes. That's my point. My thing is, make your money, get to your bag, but don't put yourself in a position to think that based on how they found you, that they're not going to try to proposition you in that way.
Yeah.
I just, and we don't have those bits of the story. This is just all speculation from my end, hearing the story out. It's crazy. It's also, there's also he's suing her, he's countersuing her, because he's saying that all this stuff is like false and like she's lying about everything, and the things that the countersuing is alleging is crazy work. It's also seeming like, okay, you thought that you was gonna make a come up off of him, and it didn't work out that way. So now you've trumped up all these allegations that you want to sue him for. Y'all,
it's a mess on both ends. This one is a mess on both ends. I'm not even gonna hold you. It's a mess on both ends, and
period. Because girl, what you did was not very smart, and it ain't got nothing to do with you selling whatever you selling over there on the OnlyFans.
I just I understand the impulse, maybe that she was ready to move on with her life from that space, and so she saw this as an opportunity.
But still, where is your like? I mean, we don't know that either. There was no mention of like her financial planning.
Kanye, yeah, I just feel like Kanye been off for a long time, and
right, someone who has been known to be mentally unstable. You walked into the arms of this man.
Even if she had done that, I'm with you. I would be like, I'll deactivate and I'll go private.
Hello.
But if I need to come back to the hustle, then I need to have access to get back.
Right, not delete my whole. I understand her wanting to sue for having deleted her whole like setup. I don't even know what you would call that, because I mean there's money that basically you walked away from. But I mean, could you really sue for that? Because you willingly made that choice.
But it was contingent on him paying her.
Baby, I haven't heard too much else about this case. I'm interested to see if anything else comes out, but it's seeming like Kanye was like, we finna bury this, because I have not heard anything else.
All right, well, we're gonna see. All right, where do you want to go next?
Oh, I'm shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm very dismayed that the racist Republicans finally got what they wanted, and they blocked the Fearless Fund from funding Black-owned companies and businesses, knowing
this one pissed me
off. Black-owned and women-owned businesses get the least amount of venture capital there is to shuffle around the market. Like,
less than
y'all's
1%.
racism is astounding.
Less than
You got to
1%.
have
And
everything.
the fearless fund, like it's not enough for you to have the majority even. You have to have it all. The majority of it,
Bullshit.
or the fearless fund was only for $20,000. And most it's less than 1% of VC funds go to Black women. Less than 1%. And then what really pissed me off is thinking about companies like WeWork, where they can lose billions of dollars, they can embezzle money. WeWork is a mess. If you ever listen, I listened to something, I can't remember what it
It's
was,
a whole documentary
but
on
about
Hulu.
the structure of WeWork and how the owner was buying these properties in his name and then leasing them back to WeWork and all this other stuff, and just being crooked. The Elizabeth Holmes, even though she's doing time right now, but you know, the girls be like really just doing whatever and blowing through money. And the founder of WeWork, I think, is up to something else and just got founded or funded for another VC fund. And it's just like y'all just want it all. I did want to point out that Ed Blum is the person that is behind this lawsuit, and he is also behind the person or the lawsuit that got affirmative action overturned.
Yeah.
So
he's basically trying
this is his pet project.
Yeah, dismantle everything was a step forward for Black Americans in this country. And I say specifically Black Americans because these things were put in place to help us have more equal playing field, or to even not even equal, to catch up to some degree to our white counterparts. The unfortunate
like
piece
$20,000 isn't even enough to catch up. This is $20,000 to just like put a drop in the bucket. This isn't even about catching up. They just don't want us to have anything.
No.
I also wanted to point out and note that this was overturned or blocked by a 2-1 court, and the two that overturned it was Trump appointees. So
of course,
elections matter.
Girl.
Again.
It's just so like the shit that is happening and in rapid succession at this point, it is so disheartening because it's like, I know what we're supposed to do, but then if you do all of that, then what is the point if they can still come through and just wipe it all away any damn way?
Correct. So,
sidebar.
Dr. Raven.
Hold on, before we go there. A random like elder sidebar conversation. They basically said, I happened to be seated in on a elder conversation. I wasn't talking, I was just listening. But they were saying that we need to get back to, like, Black Americans as a whole need to get back to having their own communities and investing solely within their own communities, because that's when we thrived, when we weren't trying to compete to have like white capitalism and trying to aspire to be equal to that side of the fence. They basically were like, life was so much better and more lucrative for Black Americans when it was circulated amongst our own. And while I am not necessarily a proponent for going back to being fully segregated, because that wasn't the safest of times for people who look like you and I don't necessarily disagree with what they said, because the integration of our communities from the 50s, 60s and beyond only saw to the dismantling of our communities.
Yeah. It's group economics, honestly. And it's like the fact of pouring money back into and circulating money back into our communities, which is why I go out of my way and I pay more to buy Black,
Yeah.
Just to circulate the money back into our communities. I don't buy everything, but if somebody launches something, I'm like, I'll go buy it. Like, I'll go buy a bunch of it, even if I don't, necessarily, it's not my favorite thing. I'm like, I want to support the creators and the people who are doing the things. So,
to the point of
whether that's everything,
coming with random gifts every now and again.
Seriously. I just,
if you watch our previous episode, you know what we're talking about.
I don't even know. But yes, I think there's something to the group economics of it all that we have lost over the years via
integration. Yeah. It's really, really, really it's really sad when you think about it.
It is.
Because even so where I'm from, when I go home to see those neighborhoods now And to listen to like when my aunt was still alive and my mom talk about what it looked like when they were girls, and I'm speaking about
Yeah.
like Newark, New Jersey, and East Orange, to see that now, like so to give you reference point, it looks like when we would go across Hull Street and how all the once you got passed over the bridge or whatever, and you went like you're going to a Kroger spot, how all the shops look all run down and closed up, and like it doesn't look like anything's going on there, but it used to be a thriving like little strip of area. That's what it looks like. Majority of the
But the flip
neighborhoods.
side of that is like these communities didn't go away on their own. They went away as a result of white terror.
Yeah, they went away as a result of that, but also the thing that I forgot to mention was the active intent to get the black dollar circulated out of their neighborhoods.
But not just that, like literal white terror burning the whole entire community down.
Yes.
A
combination of tactics.
Popping highways through the neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's a major one. I remember you telling me about that.
Tearing up these entire communities, drugs for whatever you believe and however you believe those got introduced into our communities.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like I feel like it's it's so hard because like you said, and like we were talking about even with this capital, is like we're trying even to like have these communities and have these things where we're supporting our own, and what happens? Some random white man with everything comes and tears that up too. Through a lawsuit this time. He didn't burn down the Fearless Fund, but he
burned it down essentially, nonetheless. And shout out to Arlen. Is her Arlen Williams? She is a
I don't remember her last name though.
Venture capitalist. Also, I want to say her last name is Williams. If I'm wrong, I'll look it up and I'll make sure I put it in there. But she's basically come out. She made a TikTok and she was just like, "Okay, fine. You're gonna block the Fearless Fund? No, bet, no problem. I'll just create a new one."
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was just like, "And if you decide to block that, I'll create another one after that."
Hamilton.
There we go.
Okay, let's move on. Dr. Raven is a very popular, I think she's like a microbiologist or something. Very fancy, very like super duper educated Black woman, blocked from buying a house on Virginia Beach. We're covering this because we are from the 757 and I personally am from Virginia Beach. So not that part of the beach, but I am from Virginia Beach. So basically the person who owned the house like came right out and was like, yeah, no, I'm not selling it to you because you Black.
And then the fact that you said that stupid shit. And then the fact that your realtor went back and they said that stupid shit. You deserve everything you get.
So it's like, go ahead and run me my condo and also run me that money.
Hello? Because that's illegal.
Very. Highly, highly illegal. So I hope she gets everything. I hope that she gets that condo free and clear.
She probably will. Or damn near free.
Yeah. So Fani Willis, we talked about her before. This is so annoying. Her RICO case has been paused while the appeals court, I think, considers whether there was impropriety with her messing around with the special prosecutor, Nathan Wade. And this is really annoying to me because they're literally on the same side. And I don't understand what the problem is. It's like they're trying to conflate a bunch of stuff. And it's pissing me off.
The problem is that she's Black. And she's a woman.
And speaking of conflating a bunch of stuff, Hunter Biden has been found guilty on his gun charges. And what's pissing me off about this is that y'all conflate a bunch of stuff. Hunter Biden getting convicted of gun crimes when he was in the throes of addiction doesn't have anything to do with his dad.
His daddy.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that Trump was found guilty on 34 counts.
Right.
In his own right in New York. And y'all are trying to make a false equivalency here. And I don't like that.
Yeah. And I also don't like that. I feel like because this Hunter Biden stuff, they've been trying this case or dealing with this for at least 5 years, ain't it?
Yeah,
I feel like
because
I was
at
hearing
first
about this pre-pandemic.
because at first he was trying to do a plea bargain and that fell apart. So initially they had kind of worked out the case and worked it out to a plea, and they couldn't agree on the terms initially. So they ended up dissolving that and then taking restarting the case and taking it to trial. And he
It's
was
just so
convicted.
stupid. I feel like because they convicted Trump for them 34 counts, then they was like, well, fine, we're gonna throw you on the barbecue too, Hunter.
But it's a false equivalency because what a private citizen was doing don't have
Private
anything
citizen
to
who
do.
did not have access to any of whatever was going on with his daddy. He was out here living a whole life, hence his charges. Child
So
by. And stupid
just,
news.
yeah.
Bishop, we talked about this. If you have been following us, been here with us for a long time, we used to do the reality TV reality updates on Monday nights, and we talked about Bishop Lamor Whitehead quite a bit. He is known as the Gucci down pastor who faked his own robbing at his church, and then it soon
Clown.
came out that he
No
was
other
out here
clown.
robbing his parishioners. So he has now been sentenced to 9 years in prison because of his fraudulent activities.
Well, listen. I especially can't stand people who take advantage of people who are like supposed to be under their authority. So that bugs me. And specific pastors and people doing this kind of nonsense really bugs me. So he gets what he deserves, honestly.
And I agree with that. Oh, well,
Last thing
bye-bye.
on the list, pretty much. Last thing on the list is Ticketmaster and Live Nation. So the Biden administration has been doing a lot of these monopoly cases, basically talking about anti-competitive behavior. And Ticketmaster and Live Nation are essentially one company, and the Justice Department has filed a suit to separate them and basically be like, this is anti-competitive. Well, not separate them, but to say like this is anti-competitive. And like if you get into the nitty-gritty of it all, it's crazy how anti-competitive it is. Like basically Ticketmaster or Live Nation owns a bunch of these venues, and then they use Ticketmaster exclusively. And the allegation is that's why all of these concerts cost so much damn money. Like
Double
I was gonna
dipping.
go see Triple. They like
Right.
the ticketing platform, the thing, the stadium or whatever. Some of them manage the artists. So it's like y'all triple, quadruple dipping in these situations. So I'm tired of paying all this money for these concert tickets. I'm gonna be honest. And I love a concert, but even when we went to see Beyonce, um, like the difference in fees is what caused
Yeah.
me to sit in one section versus another. Like the ticket prices themselves weren't that different, but when you added on all the fees and stuff, it was like an extra $150 for some of those tickets. And I was just like,
that's how it was with Something in the Water too. Them additional, when we bought them tickets for the 3 days, them additional the based on the package you bought, it was additional like $40, maybe even 50, to your point.
crazy. And like honestly, I've gone to enough shows that like I've gone to some cheap shows that are like standing room only, general admission, and sometimes the fees are more than the ticket. I have definitely had times where the ticket was like $30 and I ended up paying like 60. And you're just like, girl, what is happening here? Or I was gonna go see Tim's. I wanted to see Tim's, and those tickets were just too expensive for what it is. And for the venue, I was just like, absolutely not. I won't be paying that. Not for
It's
that.
just dumb. So hopefully they come to some sort of agreement and these ticket prices drop, because this shows that I want to see. But I'm like I was telling my cousin a couple of last week sometime or the week before that I wanted to go see Chris Brown, but like I don't know that I want to pay $200 and $300 to go see him.
Yeah.
That's
Like
a
these
lot
ticket
for
prices,
one ticket.
it's the difference between paying like $200 or $150 for something. Like that's where I'm, like I can go up, honestly. Like I'm okay if it's an experience, it's a live experience, I'm having a good time. I'm happy to like kind of bump it up a little bit. But it's like when the starting price is $250 and by the time you add on all the fees, you're at $400. That is crazy. That is crazy. It's crazy.
Totally agree.
So, anyways, I hope they do something because I like to be out in the streets and doing my live music and twirling in person.
I want to go support Virginia's Own. Like what? I remember back in the day we used to see all the artists, and the tickets was not sky high.
Yeah,
tickets was like $20,
and like listen,
$30.
I used to do a lot of shows. I did a lot of shows that I would just fly to Atlanta and go to a couple shows or whatever, and it would be like $50. It would be like all in $60. You know what I mean?
I'm like, what happened
a small
to that?
venue. Yeah, even for like a small venue, general admission type of vibe. But like y'all charging $100 for general admission
crazy
tickets,
work.
And that's without fees.
And small
that's
venues.
Crazy.
Crazy work.
And there's nowhere for me to sit down, and it's a small venue. That is crazy work. Crazy work.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this gets resolved. Hopefully they break them up because it's kind of ridiculous that they even let them merge in the first place, to be honest.
But they done been merged like this for at least 20 years.
They shouldn't have let them. That's my point. Like the environment is too there isn't enough other competitors in the marketplace to allow that merger to have happened. And they did it with conditions, like they were supposed to like keep some parts of the business separate and all these things, but it wasn't effective. So it's time to like break these hoes apart. For real. We're
gonna see how that plays out. Hopefully it plays out to our advantage sometime soon, and we'll be in some shows. Okay.
Absolutely.
Shaking a tail feather.
Please.
Anyway, if you guys have liked any of the stories that we have shared, please put your comments down below. Let us know what your thoughts are. If there's anything that you want us to talk about specifically, send that to the email. It'll be down here at the bottom. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, friends. We'll see you in the next conversation. Bye.
Bye.